Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's racing show is brought to you by Chad Rack Construction. Go hit up Chad Rack for your construction needs. So tonight on the Josh Nolan and Oliver S. Full Throttle Racing Show, #1 on YouTube, we have with us Carson, Austin, and Sawyer Barnes. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Not a problem. So let's talk about where it all began for you guys. Where did this awesome love of the auto racing world come from? How did it all start?
Well, so our dad started racing, and when we started watching, he started to get into it and wanted to start racing. And then once he got his go-kart, I'm like, I want to race too.
Okay. So, Dad, how did you get involved in this sport?
So my dad used to race hobby stocks here in Des Moines at the fairgrounds back in the early 90s. And I think he raced for like 2 years. He started in like 94, and then he sold his car to buy me and my older brother go-karts. And then
Okay.
we raced go-karts down at the barn at the fairgrounds up until they closed doing that. And then I got out of it for a while, and then I started racing the enduro cars at Knoxville, and we'd go to Minnesota a couple times or whatever, and then it just kept going from there.
So, when you guys climbed in your race cars, respectively, were you guys scared to get behind the wheel for the first time?
I know I was scared.
Well, I wasn't really scared. I was pretty excited to go out there and learn and race other people.
Okay. So, Dad, were you scared at all when you got behind the wheel for the first time?
I don't really remember the go-kart days so much. Like I don't remember really how I felt then. And I wasn't too scared when I was racing like the enduro cars and stuff, but I was very nervous when I started racing a hobby stock probably the first full year that I raced. It didn't matter, when we went racing or whatever, every time I climbed in that car, I was really nervous. So we're kind of past that point now, but I still get the butterflies and the excitement every time, but the nerves kind of wore off a little bit.
So, okay, let's talk now about your race car numbers. Where did that come from? And what is your race car numbers?
Mine is 01 because so when we got my race car, I was planning on doing 01 because that was his number. So when we bought it, it was just already like that. So I just kept it.
He
And
lucked
how about
out.
you, Bob?
He already had the '01 cart, so he lucked out on that deal.
I did 95 because I liked Lightning McQueen a bunch, and then I put Lightning McQueen on my go-kart.
Okay. And how about you, Dad? How did you come up with the '01?
So I was a big Dukes of Hazzard fan growing up. So when I did my enduro car, I did the General Lee paint scheme on that, and that's kind of how I just stuck with the '01 number. I was actually back in the go-kart days, I was Bobby Labonte fan, so I always ran the
Okay.
number 18, and Dad painted my go-kart up like the green interstate batteries. So that was
Very cool.
my paint scheme back in the day. But as I got older, I was kind of a Dukes of Hazzard fan, and I kind of wanted to do something cool, and that's just kind of what I stuck with.
So, how much success have you guys had as race car drivers?
Well, for me, my the best I've done is second. I've almost got first, but I got passed on the last lap. So all in the trailer, second and third place banners.
You got a first at Carlisle.
Yeah, at Carlisle, I did get a first
Talk
place.
about your season points.
For season points, I got second place.
Very cool. How about you, Bud?
Um, when I was little, I got first, and I kept when I was in there, I kept getting second, and then soon I got faster and beat this person and got first, and then now I'm in our box and I'm getting faster and faster.
Okay. So, okay. So how do you guys celebrate your guys' victories?
Well, for me, I just bring the family and we all take a picture.
And you, Bud?
Like sometimes, so we go to this big background and there's this big thing and we have banners and sometimes we stand on top of our go-karts and have a family picture and other people sometimes.
Okay. So, Dad, how much success have you had as a race car driver?
I've only won once in the hobby stock so far. We've had a decent amount of second places, but I kind of put my racing on the back burner to kind of get these guys going. So I don't get to put as much attention into the car, as a lot of these guys out there are. So we usually only race about 10 nights a year with the hobby stock. So
Okay.
it's kind of hard to be super successful if you're kind of only racing here and there. So I kind of try and focus a lot more on the kids to, try and make them better drivers and get them to be successful.
So, when you did win, Dad, in the hobby stock, how did you celebrate your victory?
Oh, I stood on the door with my hands in the air and I yelled really loud. I'm sure everybody in the grandstands heard me. And then I jumped down off the car and gave the wife a big old squeeze. And yeah, it was a great day. It's one of those
Oh,
that are definitely up there.
okay. So, guys, what is your home racetrack you race on?
Our home racetrack is Newton Kart Club.
Okay. What is your favorite racetrack you've raced on?
Probably Badger Creek.
Okay. You guys need to venture up to Plessis. That's oh yeah, the bull ring.
A bull ring.
The bull.
That sounds fun.
We quit Newton and now we're going to Badger Creek for a long
Okay.
season.
At the end of the season, guys, they have what is called the Battle of the Bull Ring, and whoever wins that per class gets like a WWE championship belt.
Ooh,
That'd
we
be
should go
cool.
race that.
Sounds like a place
Yeah.
we need to venture off to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. So so guys, so what type of racetrack do you like to race on? Do you like to race on a wet, heavy track, a dusty track, or right in the center?
Kind of like a dusty, kind of like dusty track.
My tracks, I like right in the middle.
Okay. How about you there, Dad?
That's about where I like mine too. I kind of like it with a little bit of moisture on there. I'm not a big fan of the dry slick tracks. They're a little bit harder to figure out and it seems like you burn off your tires and kind of use up your equipment a little bit more. But if it's got a little bit of moisture in it, that's the track that I like.
So, Dad, what is your home racetrack for your hobby stock?
So we were mainly racing Oskaloosa. We kind of bounced around last year. We ran Stewart, Oskaloosa, and then we started running Marshalltown at the end of the season. So I think the plans for this year is we're going to try and run a full season at Marshalltown and see what
Okay.
happens there.
So, okay. All right. So, what's an awesome day at the race shop look like for you guys?
An awesome day at the racetrack is me trying my best and passing some carts.
How about you there, Bud?
Me, my favorite racetrack is my family watching me and just having fun racing.
And you, Dad?
I think just pulling my car on the trailer at the end of the night's a pretty big win for me. So if we don't tear a bunch of stuff up, then I had a good night.
So, what's an awesome day in the race shop look like for you guys?
The race shop.
Helping my dad work on our carts?
Sometimes like we help him like get his hobby stock in the trailer and get it out and work on our go-karts with him.
How about you, Dad?
Um, Probably I'd have to say the days where I can throw the boys up on the scales and make very fine adjustments, and I'm not replacing a bunch of parts. And basically, all I got to do is mount some tires for the hobby stock and check the toe. But yeah, other than that, that would be like the perfect shop day for me.
Okay. So, okay, guys. So, okay. Now, what do you guys like to do for fun away from the racetrack?
We like to, me and him like to play soccer for fun.
Okay. How about you, Dad?
Pretty much anything outdoors, fishing, golf. I like bow hunting. I mean, all the outdoor stuff, watching the kids play soccer and stuff. I do have a really fun time watching them race. That's probably one of my favorites. So,
So, here's a big question for you guys. Who is your racing hero? Who do you look up to as race car drivers?
Um, I'd say either Mark Martin or Bobby Labonte.
I think Bobby Labonte.
You, Dad?
I gotta go with my dad. My dad and my grandpa. They were the ones that kind of suckered me into it. So
Yeah.
those would be my two picks.
So, boys, have you guys ever met Bobby Labonte or Mark Martin?
No,
No.
we just have these hats from our dad.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
met Bobby Labonte a few times. So I've gone to a couple NASCAR races in my day.
All righty. So, okay, guys. So, who's all on your racing crew?
My dad, my brother, my sister will come, my mom, my grandpa, all of them.
And you guys help work on your race cars too, right?
Yeah.
What's your guys' favorite job working on your race cars?
Probably when I get a help with like the tires or something with the body or probably the scales.
How about you there, bud?
I like working on a go-kart, the tires and scales.
Okay. What's your favorite job, Dad, working on the race cars?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. I kind of like, as crazy as it sounds, I kind of like straightening panels. Like
Okay.
they get ruined to the point where you're like, there's no way that's savable, and then somehow you manage to bend it back out and run it for
Yeah.
another week. I always that's probably my favorite part.
Okay. So you guys, question, when does your racing season start?
I'm pretty sure our racing season starts in April. Yeah, April.
Okay. So, do you guys have racing nicknames?
No.
Mine's McQueen.
Okay. Dad, do you have one?
I do not. Nothing stuck with me yet. So
Okay, okay. So, all right, guys. So, do you guys have any crazy stories you'd like to share with us about your racing careers?
Um, Probably the time when I was leading the race, about to win my first race, and I think the last. And coming out of turn 4, the last lap, I had this really fast racer, and he comes up and passed me for the win.
Ooh.
Mine is I was in I was like third or fourth, and I was racing, and it was yellow flag. So I was trying to slow down, and then this car spun out and then just went right in front of me, and then I hit it, and then I got a concussion.
How about you, Dad?
Probably hitting the wall at Bristol. That's
Oh,
probably the best one so far. That or losing my entire quarter panel at Marshalltown last year in the B
Oh,
feature.
yeah.
oh, boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So, boys, you two, who do you, okay, where do you see yourself in a few years with your racing career? Where do you want to be at?
I want to be racing hobby stocks, probably at Marshalltown, traveling all around, see where I can go.
I want to like maybe do NASCAR and hobby stock. I don't know which one. And if I was hobby stock, I would race Marshalltown.
Okay. Dad, where do you want to be at with your racing career?
I would absolutely love to race a stock car. That is like my dream. But the kids make it really hard on me. So I don't know. Maybe one day when they get jobs and they can afford their own parts and stuff, maybe I'll sneak out a year in a stock car. But I definitely look forward to racing hobby stocks with them in the future. So
So, when the boys are out there racing, Dad, do you give them like a special message that you tell them when before they take the track?
I mean I talk to them and tell them to keep their head on a swivel and just pay attention. Don't stare at their hood. Look out in front of them. Be smart. Just a little bit of advice here and there. Things
Yeah.
that I would do when I was racing.
He tells us like to turn by the corner and not go passing on the outside.
Okay. So, got a question for you. What's your guys' paint schemes for 2025 look like?
So mine is blue and yellow, just like his.
Okay.
Mine's red.
Okay. Okay. So, do you guys like to watch? What other types of racing do you guys like to watch?
Um, I like to watch at home when we're away from the racetrack, probably watching at Marshalltown, sprint cars, NASCARs,
Who else do we watch on TV all the time?
Wyatt Miller.
Super late models.
Yeah, super late models too, Ricky Rudd.
I like watching Ricky Thornton Jr.
Yeah.
on TV.
Okay. So, okay, guys. So you guys, the season is fast approaching. In the off season, have you noticed anything damaged or anything with your carts before the season starts?
Well, earlier actually, we were cleaning off my go-kart, and I noticed there was this little part that was bent.
Okay. You got that fixed now and ready to go?
Not yet.
How about you there, bud?
The whole thing needs a new body.
How about you, Dad?
Yeah, we still got our Marshalltown recorder on the car. So we got some zip ties holding it together, but we're gonna squeak another year out of it. So
Okay, okay, okay. So, guys, so okay. Would you guys like to thank for helping you get this far with your racing careers?
Um, we'd like to thank all our sponsors, For Suns Heating and Air. Our special thanks, our grandma, our grandpa, our other grandma, Zach and Irie, Glory Motorsports, TKO Motorsports, 515 Race Bodies, and Caliber Auto Glass. All of those.
Is that all your guys' sponsors?
No.
Okay. Who do you guys have for sponsors on your race car?
We have For Suns Heating and Air, Glory Motorsports,
Jared Bailey,
Jared Bailey,
photography.
for photographer. Um,
Val Simpson.
Val Simpson
Yeah.
with
Suicide prevention.
Suicide Prevention. Shelly with Iowa
Realty.
Realty. Derek and Kristen.
Christine.
Zach and Irie. Allison Wilson. Photograph.
Photography. That's Chrysalis.
Chrysalis Healing Center.
Serenity Tea.
Serenity Tea, Calvin Family, Coker, Pumpkins, Grumpy and Grammy, Caliber Auto Glass, Hess Power Fabs, 5-on-5 Race Bodies, Reynolds Speed Shop, TKO Motorsports, and Sign Creations.
Okay, and do you guys have a racing page that the racing fans can follow you guys on?
Yeah. Barnes Boys Racing.
Barnes Boys Racing. So go hit up Barnes Boys Racing on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. So also, do you guys have a message out there you would like to share with the kids and adults coming up in the racing world? This includes you too, Dad.
Probably pay attention to the track. Like, I know I've seen this happen. Like, don't look at your family members while you're racing. Think smart, and like, that's it.
I just want to say you just want to have fun and like win. And if you lose, it doesn't matter. It just matter about having fun.
All the
How about you, Dad?
all the parents out there that are thinking about putting their kids in racing, absolutely do it. That is what I would tell anybody. Put your kids in racing, keep the sport going. It is an absolute blast.
Okay. So at this portion of the show, I like to turn the mic over to my guest and have them, if they would like to ask me some questions.
Okay. Did you used to race?
I did not. I've been a racing fan for 40 years.
Wow.
What's your favorite race car driver?
Right now, it's Kyle Larson.
Yes.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
It used to be Jimmy Johnson, and before that, it was Earnhardt Sr. and Jr.
Have you ever went to a NASCAR race?
Never been to a NASCAR race, but I have met some NASCAR drivers.
Who were those NASCAR drivers?
Tony Stewart,
Ooh.
Kenny Schrader,
Hey, what was Conway Twitty?
Rusty Wallace,
Oh,
Mike Wallace, and Kenny Wallace.
okay.
Harold Lloyd Jenkins.
How did you begin to love racing?
Just a sport I gravitated towards when I was like your guys' age. It was like the sport that I would just seen it once. I was just like, man, this is my sport.
What racing was it that got you into it? Like, was it car racing or dirt bikes or
Car racing wise, IndyCar, dirt track, NASCAR, drag racing, anything with a motor. I'm starting to get into motorcycle racing, so yeah.
What's your favorite track to go to?
I have been to a few. Knoxville, Iowa, for the Knoxville Nationals 2 years in a row. The Boone Super Nationals. I've been to Britt for the Night of 1,000 Stars.
What's your favorite thing to watch?
I like all sorts of racing. I love it all.
Has anyone like in your family ever raced?
I've had a couple cousins, one on my dad's side and one on my mom's side.
Say a weekend assault is now being investigated as a.
And they both raced in the same class.
That's exciting.
One time, me and him raced in the same class.
They did, and I was fixing twice the amount of parts.
Street and Smith Avenue.
My one cousin drove a number 76 modified, and the other one drove a number 1 modified.
Jacob Bond ringing field
Oh,
with
got
a
any
serious
other questions?
injury as a result of an assault. He was taken to two South hospitals.
Okay.
He was-
Well, I'd like to thank you guys for being on the racing show with me tonight, talking to us about your racing careers. A little something I was going to tell you is we have 18,000 views on YouTube. So you guys will be up on YouTube, and we have 18,000 people watch this show
Wow.
and over 500 subscribers.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you for letting us share.
Thank you guys very much. I will have you guys step up. I'll call you in a few minutes to thank you. Okay.
Thank you for having us on the show.
Thank you very much.
Danger to the public or to anybody. Detectives believe multiple people likely witnessed the fight. Encourage anyone with information to contact police. There were a lot of people in that area, he said. We don't know exactly how many people saw.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Barnes boys, Austin, Carson, and Sawyer on our racing show tonight from the state of Iowa. Go hit Barnes Boys Racing on Facebook to follow their racing careers. Racing news wise, nothing really. Go vote for Seth Christensen as he competes for the Alan Quickie development. For the Alan Quickie development opportunity. So go vote for Seth Christensen. Also, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of the races are getting underway. So get ready because High Limit Series is getting ready to go to Vegas, and Chase Randall's heading out there for that. So go follow the High Limit Series. IMCA stuff will be getting ready to kick off here next month or so. NASCAR wise, I don't have any results for you on that. Maybe tomorrow night, but definitely, and drag racing will be starting up too. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to sponsor a racing show or be on a racing show, feel free to call us or text us at 712-209-7138, or you can email us at jjnolan151@gmail.com. Have a good night, everybody.